You are an artist first.
Chaos is a tool to like bend time.
You know, someone asks you in the elevator or whatever, you know,
What's your poetry book about?
I hate that question. But I can tell you why I hate that question. You know, I have a friend who teaches at School of the Art Institute in Chicago. Before I started my MFA, he sat me down very intently. And he was like, I want you to know something. And do not forget this. You are an artist first. You are an academic second. You are a poet second, whatever the order of operations you want to be. You are an artist first. And so, you know, I love that you brought this up, that about thing. You know, someone asks you in the elevator or whatever, you know, what's your poetry book about? And I hate that question. You know, it's a very artist thing to say, but I can tell you why I hate that question. We have created as a society such a need to pinprick, understand everything. And there are a lot of things in life that we should aim to understand, right? There are. But that's just not how the world works altogether. It's not how the universe works.
No.
There's so many unknown, random, unexpected variables. And so many of those, though, still have massive effect. You don't need to understand everything. In fact, understanding everything rids a lot of good things of their magic. So I love that. Yeah, I like the circling around because it's a circling, right? It's a cyclical nature of contemplation.
Yeah, I think for me, because I started writing it when I was so much younger, right? I can say it is about a tornado, it's about weather, it's about climate. Sure, I think that's like all factually true. But right, I think the more things I say it is about, I feel like I'm limiting it. And it didn't feel limiting when I wrote it. It was like healing. It was expansive. It was a teacher to me. And yeah, I think we could all use that advice to just not sort of always talk in those about terms, because I don't know about how you feel, but like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to stop writing about the weather or climate change, right? And so I don't want to say, well, my first book was about this, so book 2 can also be about it. I think about that with Cruel as well. In some like reviews and stuff online, it's interesting. It makes sense that like COVID would come up a lot in terms of how people are talking about the book, particularly in the section that you have that is like dated as 2020. But to say Cruel is a book about the COVID pandemic would be flattening it, right? It is about so much more. But I'm so glad that you dated it and you have that in there, because I think it's impossible for us to know how. And that's like what's exciting to me about your book being so fresh, is that like I can only sort of begin to fathom how it will continue to take on a life of its own, and people will keep responding to it beyond the current moment that we're in. And I think your work shows that expansiveness already. And I think, I think it like, there's something that you're doing with the form and the experimental nature of it that like is so assured and so measured in its sort of chaos, that like shows that is a tool, that like chaos is a tool, that this play with form is a tool to like bend time and to bend this idea of aboutness, right? It's more than just these things that are on the page as we read them today. These things on the page, when we read them in a month, will feel different.
Let me tell you what I'll throw you for a loop. One quick thing is genreification. Whenever I go online and like look at, you know, what random bookstores and booksellers are like putting it in terms of categories, it's hilarious. The big one for me I love is erotica. I'm like, I don't know.
Interesting.
But sure, so get ready for that one. It's fun seeing how other people will put it into boxes.
Yeah.
Because you know what the right ones are, and if they are boxes or not boxes, right?
Yeah.